Caution. The following may contain non-politically correct language. Tongue twister. Non-politically correct language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, if you're ready for beautiful, natural-looking, easy-to-apply nails, 3 colored in 7 luscious hues, just...
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
Oh, goddamn hacker, that second damn knife that asshole's cutting.
The movement was begun 8 months ago by a small group of scientists who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent through...
The National Blueprint for Biodefense, released on April 17, 2024, presents a hypothetical yet nerve-wracking, due to the precursor set by Event 201, scenario of a bioterrorist attack on July 4, 2025, where an unknown nation or terrorist group unleashes a genetically modified Nipah virus across U.S. cities and allied nations. This engineered pathogen, with a 40% mortality rate, kills 280,000 Americans and infects 400,000 in a single day, alongside 200,000 dead and 800,000 sickened animals. The virus, designed for enhanced animal-to-animal, animal-to-human, and human-to-human transmission, goes undetected for weeks before the July 4th event due to its rarity and the lack of recognition by veterinarians and physicians. Prior smaller-scale attacks to test U.S. defenses had already gone unnoticed, highlighting critical gaps in early detection and response capabilities. Attacks that would begin in early June.
Thank God we have our hands on it. It was hard to get it there for a second, and we had to, Stephanie had to look for it and find it because it seemed like it was being kind of erased from certain places.
They've been trying to take it offline ever since I did my San Andreas show. Yes.
So we're not being paranoid. They actually are trying to get rid of this thing. It was quite a find. So Stephanie did finally find it.
July 4th, 2025, bioterrorist attacks of July 4th, 2025. They say they're not going to know who did it. They're not going to know any of those things. But guess what? Here's the tiny little problem. If you go up to the list of names and you go through the list of names who are the scientific advisors on this particular event scenario, we actually know who the weapon maker is. If you go down through the list of the ex officio members, what you find out is the ex officio members, several of them are veterinarians and bioweapons BSL lab runners who are actually working on equine encephalitis. They're working on all sorts of other weaponized systems. And if you look at people like Gerald Parker and George Post right here on your screen, and you find out what they've been doing and what they've been weaponizing, we actually have a high probability of knowing what pathogens they're looking at. And so, and given the fact that they said it's going to be a combined human and veterinarian event, right there, the ex officio members.
The document outlines systematic failures that enabled this catastrophe, including inadequate biological intelligence, delayed identification of the pathogen in humans and livestock, and insufficient funding for public health and medical countermeasures. It points to the nation's inability to address vulnerabilities exposed by the COVID-19 pandemic, such as fragmented federal leadership and poor communication with the public and allies. The report warns of adversaries exploiting these weaknesses, particularly through synthetic biology, which could produce even deadlier pathogens. The blueprint emphasizes that the United States lacks a robust biodefense framework, leaving it vulnerable to both natural and engineered biological threats. The blueprint proposes a centralized biodefense enterprise, advocating for rapid response vaccine platforms, digital surveillance, and global coordination, which would pave the way for increased control under the guise of preparedness. It highlights the Department of Defense's strained resources and the growing threat of advanced biotechnologies like CRISPR and AI-driven pathogen design, referencing exercises like Event 201, a 2019 pandemic simulation by Johns Hopkins. the World Economic Forum, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We've been here before, and the engineers that were exposed are at it again, and they will not stop until they face the justice they already deserve. John Bound reporting for InfoWars.
Ultimate Life Force. That's the name of the new product. This is hands down the strongest, most powerful spike protein detox out there with triple action, taking all the major best-selling certified safe formulas and integrating it in to just a massive daily dose. And it isn't just to clean out your blood, ladies and gentlemen. It is so good for your whole body. It's got 400 milligrams of NAC alone. That is the precursor to glutathione, and just does incredible things for your whole body. Not just that, the energy, the stamina, all of it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're so excited about this formula. I don't have time to get into all the other great ingredients in it. Go to thealexshowstore.com right now and check it out for yourself. This is so game-changing. Lesser formulas have already helped so many people that I've personally bought them for and, given them to friends and family. This is amazing. Get yours now at thealexshowstore.com for 50% off.
Okay, I played that John Bound report showing us that they did some kind of simulation last year, and they said that July 4th of this year, lots of people are going to die because there's going to be some kind of biological attack on the United States, some kind of Nipah virus is going to be released or whatever. You saw that, right? I'm thinking they're going to pull a stunt, because what Trump's about to say sounds good, but you got people out there that are going to say, seriously? You think you're not going to muzzle up? You think you're not going to take your vaccines? Okay, mofos, you think that COVID was a joke? This is what I'm thinking, or we're thinking here in the think tank. You think that COVID was a joke and you're not going to wear your muzzle? Well, I'm going to show you just how big of a joke it is when you see hundreds of thousands die the first day and then constantly dying after that. So I'm thinking they're going to make something pop off, and I mentioned that in my last video, or the video that I did about this a couple days ago. Okay, so the title of this, I'm going to make it a title about the July 4th, their plans for this video, okay? Because they could pull, I haven't said what they can put in the chemtrails, they can put it in the water, or they can put it in the food or something. They want to make something pop off. One thing's for sure, there are no viruses. There are viruses, that's already been debunked by the good doctors. And if you're new to this game, you can do your research and find out for yourself. But for the rest of us, we know what's up. And so I'm thinking they're going to make something happen to where there's a lot of people dying. And so what he's about to say is, we're not doing the lockdowns, we're not doing the masks. But if these bad actors out there make something happen, in other words, you see a lot of people dying and the news wants to say, oh yeah, we were attacked, or it's a virus going around, because they're still beating the drum of a virus going around. And I'm going to cover that in a second too, in a minute. But I think they're going to make something pop off to where they're going to mandate the mask, force the lockdowns, because there's going to be such mass casualty and chaos. And so that's what I'm thinking, or we're thinking here at the think tank here. That's what we're thinking. It's not just me. But I mentioned this on my last video, like the video that I covered about this, that they can make something pop off. And I said, oh, they're going to put it in the chemtrails? So here's Trump, and he's saying, we're not going to do the mask, we're not going to mandate this. And that's good. But if a false flag happens and there's mass casualties, Let's take a look.
The left-wing lunatics are trying very hard to bring back COVID lockdowns and mandates with all of their sudden fear-mongering about the new variants
This
that
is
are
true.
coming. These are bad people. These are sick people we're dealing
That's
with.
true.
But to every COVID tyrant who wants to take away our freedom, hear these words: we will not comply. So don't even think about it. We will not shut down our schools. We will not accept your lockdowns. We will not abide by your mask mandate.
Let me say this. I don't give a shit if I care if there's a false flag and people die, but I'm not going to muzzle up because they pulled a false flag stunt and hundreds of thousands of people died, because I know the score. All right? I'm not going to go comply with their medical tyranny. I'm not going to do the lockdown shit. I'm going to continue to sound the alarm, okay? Despite whatever it is New World Order tries to pull off. As you saw in that John Bound report, the New World Order plans on doing it. So, and hopefully you're not. We're not. And we're not going to go quietly into the night. Because they're going to keep doing this shit, and they're not going to stop until these motherfuckers are stopped. That's it. My blood's already burning. Let's listen.
And we will not tolerate your vaccine mandates.
Damn
I will
right.
use every available authority to cut federal funding to any school, college, airline, or public transportation system that imposes a mask mandate or a vaccine mandate. Thank you very much. The left-wing lunatics are trying very hard to bring back COVID.
Okay, that's great. Now, what happens if there's a false flag? And some Nipah, they say it's a Nipah virus. Nipah. Are you nipping? Huh? Are you nipping out there? Is it cold? Are you nipping? It's a Nipah virus. It's ridiculous, these names. But, what if they say, yeah, hundreds of thousands dying because there's a Nipah virus? Meanwhile, it's a biological attack. That's what the fucking is. So let's get ahead of this. If they cause mass casualties, it's a biological attack of some sort. It's no Nipah virus. But let's get ahead of this, their narrative, so they have to move the goalposts again. That's what this is about, okay? Okay, bow. Let's look at this, okay? So fresh off of that, we're going to take a look at this nifty headline. Information compiled from Zero Hedge, The Epic Times, and Lions of Judah Substack. Guess what? China's COVID nightmare returns. Cue up the figurative fiction. Coronavirus 2.0. It's returned. Did you hear? Oh yeah, students are being isolated. The deaths from the stupid COVID that doesn't exist are being hidden as the regime doubles down on totalitarian policies. Rinse and repeat. I'm waiting for the footage to come out of people being welded in their apartments, buildings, them jumping off out of the windows to their deaths because they just can't take it anymore. I'm waiting for the fumigation of the streets like they did in 2020. I'm waiting for that footage to come out. So bear with us, okay? Let's go with still picture for now. But as the world moves on from the scamdemic era, China remains trapped in a cycle of fear, control, deception. A new wave of CONVID 1984 infecciones, driven by the XBB sublineage of the Omicron strain. Now I went over Omicron. Shuffle the letters around. There's telegraphing it. You're moronic. That's what, if you take the letters and shuffle them around, it spells moronic. You have to be a moron to believe this shit. And they're saying that. Pretty much. If you could start figuring things out, they actually are talking to us in a certain way. And they're laughing. An Omicron strain? First of all, what are these strains coming from? It's all bullshit. What is it? A variant of the snivels? Was it? Each strain has a different type of sniffling effect on you? I mean, it's so damn stupid. There are no viruses, and I never heard of this growing up. Any of this shit, sublineage of the Omicron strain or this strain or that. Never heard of any of this shit. Either you had the flu, or you had pneumonia, or you had a cold. Blah blah blah. That's it. And it's XBB. I mean, this is so damn phony sounding, isn't it? So they're saying a new wave of CONVID infections are being driven by the XBB sublineage of the Omicron strain. It's sweeping through mainland China, prompting schools to isolate students and hospitals to quietly bury the truth. Despite years of draconian lockdowns, forced vaccinations, and relentless propaganda, the Chinese Communist Party has failed to contain the virus. There's no virus. I went over this. Wuhan had turned on over 10,000 5G towers, some big, a lot of them small. It was the Internet of Things city. During the military games 2019 in November, everyone who attended it was bedazzled by the Internet of Things show that they put on. Okay? People started getting radiation poisoning, cell poisoning. I went over this back in 2021. I searched high and low for the information. I found it. I put together videos about this, exposing it, that people were getting radiation frequency sickness, cellular poisoning, and it mimics the flu. What a great cover story for the rest of the world who wants in on the New World Order, these governments, to go along with it. But if you didn't have 5G in your neck of the woods, they could just use a faulty PCR test, or all the doctor had to say back then is he thinks you have it, and the sheeple will believe it, that they have it. Do you understand this? Very easy, because the sheeple are very docile. Either people getting sick from... and in China, after people getting sick from the 5G, they were forced vaccinated because China loves their vaccines. And of course, they're always walking around with their muzzles because it's a sign that you're a fucking commie slave. So they've been doing that, hindering their immune system for years. It's ridiculous. On a side note, Japan, I found out when I was going through all this early COVID era shit information, I found out Japan thinks that masks give them like superhero status or something like that. But I digress. So we have schools isolating students. We have hospitals quietly burying the truth, and draconian lockdowns, forced vaccinations, and the Chinese are still at it again. And the narrative is that they still failed to contain the virus. Well, let me just help you out. There is no virus. They didn't fail to contain... You can't fail to contain something that doesn't exist. But they're still pushing... Do you understand this? That they're pushing this narrative that there's still a virus out there. There is no virus. So here's the main takeaways. Schools in multiple provinces are suspending classes and forcing students into quarantining. And people out there are getting worried that there's going to be more lockdowns coming. Doctors and residents report severe symptoms and deaths far exceeding official CCP statistics. So already they're saying that people are just dying in droves already. And doctors and residents report severe symptoms. Well, I'd like to know what your symptoms are. And do you have any 5G towers around? Did you take your vaccinations? Are you being sprayed like bugs? There's so many things that could make people sick. Okay? And it also could be these residents that are getting severe symptoms. Are they elderly? Because all that shit's being left out. Do they have comorbidities? All that stuff's being left out. Remember in 2020? They said, well, if you're a fat bastard, you have a higher chance of getting sick with COVID. If you're a fat bastard, you're unhealthy, you have a higher chance of getting sick, period. And dying sooner than later. There's no COVID doing that to you. But they said, oh, if the overweight have a higher chance of getting COVID. No, this is all stupid shit. If you're overweight, you have a high chance of just being sick. Let's stop being dumb. I mean, I'm sick of this. They had articles back then that said, if you're over 6 feet tall, you have a higher chance of getting it than if you're under 6 feet tall. Since when does height have to do with catching anything in the air? Supposedly a pathogen. Serious? But they know they could release these dumb fake stories, and the sheep will get even more scared. Oh my god, I'm over 6 feet, I have a higher chance of getting it. I better wear tree muzzles. Fucking retards out there. You deserve what you get if you're that damn dumb. Survival of the fittest. Alright? Darwinism. Ridiculous. There are people out there still to this day who will get scared about this shit. Now, what they could do is actually kill people off. It's July 4th. They can definitely do that and make it look like it's tell the world's a virus. Someone released a virus here. Terrorist. China. We're going to get into that, by the way. They're already priming that pump. So there's that Neighboring countries detect the same variants in travelers. Oh my God, the neighboring countries are participating in this bullshit, just like they did in 2020. Neighboring countries detect the same scariants in travelers, raising concerns about unchecked worldwide spread due to China's secrecy, blah, blah, blah. Medical tyranny looks like they want to return. I am beyond with this shit. Reports from Guangzhou, Shaanxi, and Jinzhou, I probably butchered all that, reveal a disturbing trend. Schools are once again isolating children under the guise of pandemic control. A leaked quarantine notice from a Guangzhou primary school circulated on Douyin before being censored. It showed a third grade student forced into a 7-day isolation after testing positive. Well, there you go. You're doing the testing positive shit to drum up the fears that people are being sick and have the virus. I don't know about you, but I'm way past over that bullshit PCR testing nonsense. But they know that the world is comprised mostly of idiots, of sheeple, not people, of fucking lobotomized zombies. That they will fall for this hook, line, and sinker again. And that they're banking on that there's still enough of them to go along with this, that for the rest of us to just want to be left the fact alone, well, they're going to try to force us to do the medical tyranny shit too. They're thinking they could have more success this time in getting us to comply. I'm not complying. I'm not complying. So they're priming that pump. So don't be surprised if you start hearing about new fake strains on the media. We're not going to take it. We're not going to take it. We're not going to take it anymore. Get a load of this. Urgent health warning from doctors about new CONVID SCARIANT. Now, I went over this the other night, but I want to repeat it yet again. The big question out here is, has the bird flu lost its scarability on to the masses? And yes, it has. So what they're saying is there's this new virus with stupid letters and numbers called NB.1.8.1. Now, I went over this the other night. I'm going to repeat it again. This so-called strain or virus was detected in January in China and is more infectious than the current strains of COVID-19. That's what they're saying. This NB.1.8.1 is more infectious than the current ho-hum COVID strains of yesteryear that are still circulating around. All right? The California Department of Health warned this week that the highly contagious NB.1.8.1 strain has been detected in California, making it the 6th United States state to be exposed to the scariant. They got a lot of stuff going on. You got the bird flu going around. You had this different strains of CONVID, XBB, sublineage of Omicron. You got this new bullshit NB.1.8.1, and it's in California and 5 other states. It's in China. Oh man, they got stuff all over the place now. You feeling scared? See, we can laugh about it, but the problem is, it's a fake virus, but it's a real agenda. That's where the problem lies. They have an agenda, and the agenda is to enslave us, to kill us, to get us to comply, to be their New World Order bitches, to muzzle up, to participate in their worldwide occult ritual yet again. And we're not going to do that, are we? Don't be troll out there. We're not doing that. I got more for you. I got a lot of mo. Or a little mo. This is important. I said when they gonna keep doing this shit, talking about bullshit bird flu, fake XBB, sublineage of moronic scariant, and all this other nonsense, I'm locked in. I'm not stopping. I'm gonna keep sounding along about how fake this is, but it's a real agenda. And the agenda is to kill, maim, destroy, and enslave. Depopulation. This is Deagle.com shit they wanted to pop off. And they might try to make some big thing pop off July 4th or thereabout. They might. Don't be surprised. But one thing, it ain't no nipple virus. All right? But I digress at any rate. The Center for Disease Creation, breaking news, wants plane travel lockdown for all people who haven't received their measles, mumps, and rubella vaccines. Filled with live this and live that, neurotoxins, yeah, among other stuff. They want you to have your measles, mumps, and rubella vaccines, or you ain't getting on a damn plane. That's what the Center for Disease Creation says. That's what they're pushing for. Health officials, again, put that in quotes, confirm measles exposures in airports and on flights, urging unvaccinated travelers to postpone trips due to contagious risks. They don't want us to fly, folks. You already know that. They're doing everything. They want all travel really to be ground to a halt because they want us in 15 minutes stack and pack 'em cities. You already know the drill. But this is all part of it. This is all part of it. Better get your damn measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, and you ain't traveling. That's what they're pushing for. And you ain't traveling unless you comply, unless you roll up your sleeve and take the toxins, take the poison. Man, I'm past saying all these bastards need to be in prison. We need an exorcism of all these demons. We do. Look up in the sky. It's a void. It's a plane. Nope. It's the measles flying around the world, infecting anyone who travels anywhere by plane. The Center of Disease Creation's at it once again, led by the vaccine industrial complex, telling all Americans that measles is the biggest threat to your survival, and if you don't get the toxic measles jab, you'll most likely die tomorrow, and you damn sure ain't gonna fly. So they're starting in with the flying. They're starting in big time. Threatening a July 4th thing. And then there's this. You can't just make this up, man. You can't just make this up. I'm going to show you some pictures, all right? And now I'll play the report. America's under attack. Chinese couple caught sneaking crop-killing fungus into Michigan lab. What should we do? Guess that's what it looks like. Is that a petri dish? Let's look at it. What the hell that is? That bugs? Plastic bags? The hell? They're gonna blame China. We don't need. Well, actually, a lot of Chinese actually did cross the border, so it could be one of them. But the enemy's within anyway, so it doesn't matter. But they'll blame someone else. If this shit goes down, they'll say China did it, or some other country did it, or some rogue entity, something like that. When we know who really is up to all this bullshit, it's the government. It's the deep state. It's these New World Order pieces of crap. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Breaking tonight, 2 Chinese nationals have been charged with smuggling a dangerous biological pathogen into the United States. And this pathogen is considered a serious threat to our food supply and thus our national security. Fox's David Spunt is here with all the details. David, this is terrifying.
Laura, it really is quite an interesting story. According to the Justice Department, one of them worked at a laboratory connected to the University of Michigan. The FBI arrested 33-year-old Yuqing Zhan for allegedly smuggling in a fungus called Fusarium graminearum, which could be used as an agroterrorism weapon. The gases from the fungus could cause liver damage, vomiting, and reproductive defects in humans and livestock. DOJ officials say Zhan has direct ties to the Chinese Communist Party, and she works at the University of Michigan, and her boyfriend is connected to a university back in China. FBI Director Kash Patel, in an exclusive statement to Fox Digital, says this case is a sobering reminder that the Chinese Communist Party continues to deploy operatives and researchers to infiltrate our institutions and target our food supply, an act that could cripple our economy and endanger American lives. Smuggling a known agro-terrorism agent into the U.S. is not just a violation of law, it's a direct threat to national security. I commend the FBI Detroit Division and our partners at CPB for stopping this biological threat before it could do real damage. Now, senior DOJ leaders, Laura, are debating whether to bring back the so-called China Initiative, a controversial program during the Bill Barr Justice Department that aimed to stop Chinese espionage that began in American universities. The DOJ under Merrick Garland got rid of the name after groups came forward and complained it was insensitive, but I'm told the current Attorney General Pam Bondi and her team want to focus on China, though it's unclear if they'll bring the China Initiative name back. Laura.
Okay, so, you know, our food's being threatened, but they intercepted it this time, thankfully. Some pathogen. How would it, first of all, I want to know, how would they release it into our food supply? Wouldn't they have to go to go to every farm and put it on all the farm crops and go to all the Keebler elves and give it to the Keebler elves to put in the graham crackers and shit like that? They would have to be real busy. How would they get in all the food? I don't. Maybe I'm missing that part, but it is late. But they are. I'll tell you what. Will it be from our food? This July 4th event, or an event that they want to happen soon, depopulation, will it be from the chemtrails? Will it be in the water? Stay tuned. Will it be just 5G turned up and they say it's a virus? I don't know. Let's just stay tuned. Stay tuned, because this is a wild world and a wicked one that we're in. That's what I got for you. But it's always hashtag do not comply. Don't let me catch you out there with a muzzle on. You can roll up your sleeve all you want. I don't want to see that damn muzzle on your face. Don't be a troll. Trolls, you can muzzle up all you want, put on your face diapers, roll up your sleeves and take the quiet. You can do all that. I don't give a fuck about the trolls. But you guys out there, my subscribers and people that I'm trying to reach, do not comply. Do not go along with this New World Order bullshit. There are no viruses. It's poison in that vial that goes into the needle, that goes into you. Poison. Alright? And, yeah. Let's keep our eyes on the prize, so to speak, on these New World Order POSs that want to do us in. Can't let them win. Alright? Do not go quietly into the night. That's what I got for you. Don't be a troll out there at any rate. Like, share, subscribe, or don't. At any rate. I'm out. Don't be a weirdo out there. Don't be a troll. If you see a troll, say something. Stuff that in your truth pipe and smoke it. Make way. Because the current must flow if you listen to this. You are the resistance.
Sweet dreams.